Okay, people, this is my rant in the dark. And I've been up for a while, you know, got up at 1 o'clock. So they implemented, I guess, Jim Crow laws are reinstated back in the state of Mississippi. And these laws were implemented due to the situation that the state of Mississippi in. Now, if these Jim Crow laws getting spread in the state of Mississippi, and that means these other states gonna try to implement these laws. So, I haven't heard none of these so-called black conservatives come out against this. Haven't said anything about it. But when a red state like Mississippi implement laws like this, a lot of the red states it's a domino effect. So I haven't heard anything from the black conservatives about this Jim Crow law, implementing these Jim Crow laws in the state of Mississippi. And this gonna probably follow suit in a lot of red southern states, because most of your southern states are red states. So basically, Jim Crow is back in the South. And I haven't heard none of these conservative, whether Larry Elders, Candace Owens, any conservative YouTubers, ain't nothing, any of them said anything about this. They haven't said anything about this. It's like they dancing around it, because keep in mind, most of your conservatives, YouTubers, if you all notice, most of them stay in liberal states, so they're not gonna have to worry about Jim Crow laws when you live in liberal states. They're not gonna have to worry about those laws affecting them, because most of these black conservatives live in liberal states. They don't live in conservative states. Because if you really want to be honest, like the state of Mississippi is one of your impoverished states. And it's a red state. With Jackson, and Biloxi, Mississippi, having some of the poorest populations in the United States, next to the Appalachians, where you have a lot of poor white people that living in poverty in Virginia, West Virginia, and Virginia, and Tennessee. You have a lot of poor populations, white poor populations, in them red states, and nobody never talk about them. So you have a lot of poor white people that live, some of them are living in worse conditions than black people, but no one never talks about them. But these red states, all right, these are your red states. So with all these black Negroes who are conservative, have conservative talking points, none of them didn't mention this Jim Crow law being reinstated back in Mississippi. And this primarily is going to affect mostly black people. That's what Jim Crow was all about. So if this state implemented these laws, who's to say all the other states won't implement these laws as well in the South? And you don't hear none of these black conservatives talking about this. Now, normally I'll be going in on liberals, because the liberals are they're just as corrupt as the conservatives, particularly the blacks, whether they liberal or conservative, because they just drink, like Nelly Fuller said, they don't understand the complexity of white supremacy. They just want to coexist no matter what, whether it be the liberal side or the conservative side. They just want to live to get along, to get along. They want to get along to get along instead of fighting for anything, putting up a fight against any kind of transgression against them. They rather lay down and take it. Where people like me, I don't follow the norms of Negroes like that, whether they be on the liberal or conservative side. I side-eye both sides. That's the difference with me. I side-eye everything because, like I said, long as it's a powerful white man pulling the strings, you know something ain't right with it. So they implemented these laws, these Jim Crow laws in Mississippi. And I live in a red state. I live in Missouri. And Missouri used to be a slave state. Even though it was a Midwest state, it swung more to the south. It was a state that was neutral, but they had a lot of slaves here in Missouri, including St. Louis. St. Louis is downtown St. Louis at the old court building where they used to auction off slaves. So I want to see how these laws get implemented, these Jim Crow laws spread after Mississippi did this atrocity. And see, Howard Zinn said it best. That was Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky said sometimes history repeats itself in an odd form or the other. But the thing is, for those who to consent to it, that's the greatest tragedy of all. And keep in mind, Noam Chomsky's family are people that survived the Holocaust. So when you consent to, basically, you just consenting to your people to be marginalized because somehow you think you're in a better position, that you think you're not gonna be in that position because you're a black conservative. You think you ain't gonna have to deal with that. But it's gonna be consequences for that. See, when y'all black conservatives sit up here and try to tap dance for a lot of these conservatives, you try to tap dance and all that, then they turn around and do this shit. In majority, I'm not gonna say all white people, but you're gonna have a lot of these left, right-winging white nationalists approving of this. You know? And I just got through looking at, I forgot that sister name, just talking about Asians and white people getting attacked, but now they just implemented Jim Crow laws. And you can't say you don't see this shit, but yet black people are the ones who are getting special privileges. Okay. I digress. Over and out.